Oh, why is the chat visible? There we go. Hello, EmblemCon Twitch. We're now live with the Blue Head and Pronouns panel, and I'll leave you to Weebwitched to begin, I
Yes,
guess.
hello. Yeah. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Weebwitched. Thank you all so much for showing up, turning up for Blue Hair and Pronouns, the Fire Emblem experience. This panel is basically all about Fire Emblem characters with blue hair and how they would answer, "What are your pronouns?" Really excited to put this panel on for EmblemCon. And I was just thinking back on how this idea came to be. Like many good ideas, it started as a joke, and then I realized there was a lot of truth in that joke, and realized that EmblemCon was likely a solid space for this kind of content because I think a lot of us resonate with just the idea of, well, of course you have blue hair and pronouns. Everyone has pronouns, and the odds of having blue hair in Fire Emblem is high. That being said, how high, you might be asking? Well, there are over 60 characters with blue hair in Fire Emblem. You might be asking yourself, that's a lot, right? Wrong. No, actually, it's only 30% of Fire Emblem characters. But I will let you figure out what exactly that means. There are just so many characters in Fire Emblem. So just quickly, as an example of what we're getting into here, hi, I'm Azura. For the purpose of this panel, I am pretending to be Azura. I was going to cosplay. It's been a day. It's not happening. But when I do this live, I'm Azura. I use she, they pronouns. I'm pretty feminine, but also water isn't really gendered. And no one talks about that enough. I like the idea that Azura is, somewhat flexible in pronouns. Again, identifies pretty femininely. But water is also like part of the identity, and water is not gendered. So, just really quickly as well, so gender identity versus pronouns, and just also kind of talking about what exactly it is that we are talking about. Maybe you've popped into this and that's just not really something that you fully understand. Gender identity, just really quickly, again, hoping most people that are here already have a good idea of what this means. But gender identity is different from biological sex in that it is the way that you identify. It can be the way that you publicly display yourself, like in a societal sense. It also does not have to match that. Pronouns are related to gender identity in that they can be an indicator of your gender identity. They also don't always have to match your gender identity. In what we consider like a normal, quote unquote, normal, a socialized way, which is it leads into the importance of introducing yourself with pronouns, especially, we don't want to make assumptions about people. And especially if you do use pronouns that socially, traditionally, I do tend to line up with a certain gender, it's even more important to introduce yourself with pronouns to help just normalize the practice. So that way it isn't such a big, for people who aren't as used to it, to be maybe confronted with pronouns that they're not used to hearing as much. So by normalizing it, and we are continuing to cultivate a space that is just accepting and inclusive for everyone. Now, that being said, yeah, I see in the Discord chat, I acknowledge that there are sometimes spaces, especially those of us that do identify with more marginalized gender identities, that we're not always in a space that we feel comfortable or confident introducing ourselves with pronouns, which is why, again, like important for those who are not marginalized to use pronouns. I acknowledge, like, and here's like my little disclaimer as well, like, I am not a professional, like a paid professional, in the sense that like I don't specifically have like DEI or diversity and inclusion like attached to my specific like 9-to-5 job role or anything like that. I'm not a content expert. I acknowledge that there are lots of things globally and just like the state of the world, especially Western politics, that make this very difficult as well. So definitely important to have those kinds of things in consideration when we are like, this is just like my quick disclaimer, y'all. Now, that being said, I love to throw in there as well. I am a drag performer, which does still make me a paid professional in gender in a sense. So take that for what you will. I'm also not employed or affiliated with intelligent systems in any way. So none of what's in this panel is going to be officially sponsored by Nintendo or Intelligent Systems or Fire Emblem in that sense. Those are all my disclaimers. Let's go ahead and get into it. Gotta start with the OG, Marth. Marth uses he, him pronouns. He would respond by saying, he, him. Thanks for asking. Will you join my army? He answers your question right away, and then he's already past it. He is on to the point. We love an ally. Because also he needs you to join his army. So, he's doing what he needs to do. He's going to be an ally to all. Then up next is going to be, obviously, I say this and I'm realizing, I got to say the name out loud. We all have different ways that we say her name, right? Sita, Kata, however you say it. However, the pronouns are the same. She, her. It's good of you to ask. Respecting others is important, and pronouns are so simple. So, are you joining us? I felt like this is like in line with how she talks to almost everybody that she specifically recruits in. If we were going to throw in pronouns into Shadow Dragon, Shida. Okay, of course it's Shida. Someone's telling me in chat, which, I think that makes sense too because she, her, Shida. There we go. But yes, she's always got a little bit of extra dialogue going on, and then is also getting to the point similarly to Marth. Are you joining us? Caster. He, him. Is this a test? Will I get paid for answering correctly? Getting to the point, but also his point is different than Marth and Sheeta. Rickard. He, him. She, her. They, them. Whatever gets me into the building. Me laughing at my own jokes because I have to, because I don't have anybody in person with me reacting. It's been a while since I've streamed.
I'm laughing to myself and trying not to be audible, if that's any help.
You're welcome to react. We can kiki over this. It's fine. Okay, so, yeah, Rickard definitely is going to do... Thank you. Rickard is we're gonna get tired of hearing the golf clap. Rickard is gonna do what they have to do, right, to get in. Also, in my opinion, gender fluid as they come. Midia rolls eyes, but still answers, she, her. She's like, I'm part of this army. Okay, fine. Still going to comply. Katria, she, her. Have you seen Marth? Again, answers the question, but also has a question for you. We all know what that question is. She's got one goal. Always has. Samson. He, him. Elise. She, her. Thank you for... Corrupt self. So, because there's, two different people there, right? Yeah. All right. Silk, she, her. What are yours? Now that we know everyone's pronouns, let's get into some proverbs. Mother Milla has taught us that. And then continues to go into a proverb. Thank you. Thank you. Python. Huh. He, him, I guess. Haven't really thought about it. Whatever Forsyth uses, that's cool with me. Yeah. Even though Python has blue... Python's got blue hair. Also doesn't care, though, really. I mean, it's not that he doesn't care, just, that's kind of in line with his character is... whatever Forsyth is up to these days is what I'm doing. Yeah, all right. And like Forsyth is an ally, so let's go. Sigurd. What? Oh, right. He, him. Still getting used to all this pronoun stuff. I promise, I'm trying. It's a lot.
Not the
Which-
boomer Sigurd.
He's a dad. I thought Sigurd was the perfect moment to kind of put in like the dad who's trying answer. Which leads to Sulliv. Thank you for asking. I've been seeing how they them feels. I'll let you know if that changes. Which is why Sigurd knows anything about pronouns. Lex. He, him. Are yours she, he, it? Because she hit the floor. Next thing you know, shawty got low, 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 low. Because, you know, we had to have one womanizer in here with blue hair. My thank you. Finn. We, us. I am but a mere vassal for my liege. Because his entire identity is wrapped up in not being... Or, I'm sorry. It's a pun. You get it. We're playing with pronouns here. You get it. Charlotte, it's. I am but a little creature. It felt appropriate because Charlotte is not a main second gen. Thank you. Ronan, thank you for asking. He, they. Merlinus. I'll let you all know that I censored this for Twitch. I get what you're asking, and the kids are all right. But back in my day, you were, redacted. Merlinus is an old gay. You can put whatever slur of your preference in. Redacted means well, was definitely there for some of the old riots, and doesn't not understand. I mean, he's old. And maybe a lot of us have dealt with these older gays in our circles, like when we go out or in our communities. He's not trying, but I thought it would be fun to include that perspective in this as well, because I think we all maybe encounter this from time to time. Shauna, she, her. Lilina, she, her. Gail, I'm a man. We're getting all of the perspectives here, right? All the experiences. Hector, thank you. He, they. What? Sometimes being a man is being more than a man. What? Of course that makes sense. I'm very sure of myself. I don't know. Hector kind of gives me he, they vibes.
Slay.
Yeah, right? I mean, blue hair and pronouns. Let's go. Yes. Literally, what a king. Literally. Isadora, she, her, but like in the way you referred to a boat. Verena.
Oh my god.
She, her, hers. Now, aren't you going to ask what my mercenary rate is? Because it's 20,000 gold. Hey, wait! Because she expects that to be the follow-up question. Colm, none. Not in a bigoted way. Just do not address me. Tana, she, her, I think. That's so cool that you use they, them pronouns. You're so brave. I wish I was brave like you. Donna is a 16-year-old who has been on Tumblr for 3 months. She is still learning. She doesn't quite, yes. She doesn't quite, the spirit is there. In 2 years, she will not be saying that, those second sentences there. But, you know, she's on her way. She's getting there. Ike. Huh? Oh, yeah, he, him. Good on you for asking. What are yours? We love an ally who remembers. Lucia, she, her, but like a boat. I'm not saying that that's I'm not saying that that's not a theme tonight.
No, you're so right.
Jeffrey, huh? Pronouns. I'm a knight, a vassal of Princess Alincia. You interrupt and explain. Oh, silly me. I misunderstood the assignment. He, him, his. Always kind of jumping to conclusions. But yes, still an ally, just, needs a little reminder sometimes. I don't think this slide needs any explanation or addressing. I'm not saying he's not an ally or they're not an ally. We actually will never know what pronouns they use because they're not going to talk to us. That's just the way that goes. Anyway, Ashnard. Okay, Snowflake, the goddess made 2 genders. I should kill you right now. Screw you. Again, we're all familiar with that kind of reaction, which then leads us to our next slide for Peleus.
Ha!
Z, them, theirs. But I'll respond to any pronouns if you're still getting used to neo-pronouns. Definitely get neo-pronoun vibes from Peleus. Hope I'm not the only one. And I just feel like this dynamic, the Ashnard Peleus, we see it. My heart goes out to you if this is a dynamic, that you've gone through or you're going through. Peleus is right there with you. Then we have Crom. He, him. Thanks for asking. But what are yours? And why were you sleeping in this field? Crom is just finding people in fields, always. We were all sleeping in the field, actually, that day. Phila? Hang on. Where are your pronouns, Phila? Oh, that's right. Phila's pronouns were. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry, y'all. Yeah.
I wish there was a boo on the soundboard.
Now, next we have Virion. You will only refer to me as your brilliant, shining, noble, talented excellency. Also he, they. Lucina. She, he, however I'm presenting that day. We all been knew this about Lucina, right? The double agent. I feel Lucina is she, he. You can disagree with me, and that's fine. We can have our opinions on fictional characters with blue hair. Priam. I'll pro these nouns. Proceeds to beat the crap out of you. Sorry, y'all. Ike did his best, however. Can't say the same for Priam, how Priam turned out. Shigure. He, they. Thank you for asking. I present masculine mostly, but water also isn't gendered, and we should really talk about it more. I saw someone in chat earlier say something about water being fluid, therefore gender fluid. Like, yes, love. Yep, exactly. You understand my vision here. You get where I'm going with this. Obero, she, her, gets impaled. Sorry, y'all. I was playing Birthright on hard and classic, and my Obero was not. It wasn't gonna happen. I'm really sorry, everyone, to all the Obero fans here. Yeah, I know. I'm the worst. So we'll move on from that. Raina, she, her, but like in the way you refer to a boat. What? I'm not the first person who said that today? Okay, well, then my boat is a warship covered in blood. Which, right? If we're talking about our blue-haired boat women, she loves blood. So, of course, she'd be a boat covered in blood, a warship covered in blood. I don't need to explain every single joke. Flora! Just she, because I'll never be her.
Boo.
Lilith!
The low-hanging fruit.
No, I'm not worthy of being addressed by you, but if you're insistent, I use she, they, it pronouns. I get a vibe from Lilith that she's kind of fluid in the sense of just how she wants to be addressed. Byleth. Any. Just ... Any. I almost didn't put the word any. I almost just kept it as ... But then I figured, no, Byleth would still answer the question. Like, Byleth isn't rude. I think a lot of people have also projected this onto Byleth. And I mean that like positively. I hadn't included Byleth in this the last time I did it. I was like, people had specifically brought up Byleth as a reason that they were excited for this panel. So I was like, yeah, we can say that's blue hair for the sake of the panel. That being said, yeah, I don't think Byleth cares what pronouns that you use, but I also think that might be a support conversation later on, of what pronouns they actually want you to use. Yeah. Marianne. Oh, that's very kind of you for asking. You are so kind. It's important to make others feel included in the language we use. And then she never tells you because she forgot, and she does this a lot in the game. You ask her a question and she says how kind you are for asking something like that and then forgets to actually answer the question. It's not that she's not an ally. It's not that she doesn't care. It's Marianne. She is depressed and a ditz, and it's just a difficult combination. Caspar. He, him, but like in the way that you talk to a dog. Oh, did you know that Linhart is no binary? Like, they have no binary. That's so poggers. Felix. Okay, Beta. There are only 2 genders. I would know. I'm a Delta. Dimitri wants to be a Sigma, but he's an Alpha. Sylvain is a Gamma. Sorry, Felix, you had to take that arrow of being the representation for dick weasels that think that there's only 2 genders, but then insist that there are 7 different types of a male.
I'm also Felix Sander.
I know, I can see that I'm really upsetting the Felix fans right now. Thank you. All right. Next we have Leopold. Okay, Beta, there are only 2 genders. I would know. I'm a Sigma. My son Caspar would become an Alpha if he'd stop screwing that gonorrheal grisette. Also, yes, similarly earlier with Peleus, if you are in the Caspar tent here, my heart goes out to you if you're dealing with a Leopold father. Next we have Alchrist. Oh gosh, you want to address me? Okay, well, I think he, him is okay, but I'll respond to any pronouns, whatever you're comfortable with. And what are yours? Alchrist obviously has preferred pronouns, and they are he, him, but we also all know Alchrist, and that he is just happy that if you're addressing him, you're addressing him, and he's going to respond when you address him. Kagetsu. Any pronouns are fine. Pronouns can be confusing, so I am happy to respond to anything, especially if you are wanting to be friends. I get major any pronouns from Kagetsu, but in a like, I am just happy that you are talking to me, but in a different way that Alchrist is just happy that you're right. Like, they're like 2 sides of the any pronouns like coin.
Dog versus any pronouns.
Yeah.
Like a pathetic cat, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Alphonse. Yes, we're getting into heroes now. Alphonse. He, him. Good on you for asking. Make sure you ask all the heroes as they come in. Kind of similar vibes to Marth. Leaf. He, him. Unfortunately. They should be, was, were. Yeah, that's the vibe here. Gustav. Was, were. He, him every so often for a new seasonal, but usually was, were. In fact, if you meet me and I don't say was, were, it's your job to make me was, were.
Oh, God.
Just some jokes for anybody who pays attention to the mobile game, which might be most of us. Asker. If I tell you, will you do the asker? Haha, just kidding. I would never lock something as important as pronouns behind a silly task. Anyway, was were. And that's my panel. Thank you for tolerating. This was a lot of fun. Again, I'm thank you. I'm Weebwitched. You can find me on most platforms as Weebwitched. Let's see. I don't stream as much as I used to, or really ever at all. I'd like to again. If you ever happen to be in the Midwest, I do. I'm trying to say this without saying do. I'll say it anyway. I do drag from time to time. Try to do it. I'm trying to figure out some. I haven't done like Fire Emblem drag yet specifically. I'm trying to get something together, figure out exactly who and what that would look like. But hoping to do that within the next year. This was a lot of fun. Thanks all for letting me. My Instagram. I'm not one of those. I can't do several different kinds of accounts. Literally everything I do goes underneath my Weebwitched account. I don't. Thank you for asking though. So I was extremely torn on including Rosato in this. I know several people are now like, where was Rosato? I only included characters in this that strictly had blue hair. But if we're talking, like, I do think Rosato does use he, him pronouns, is very confident in he, him pronouns. Sorry for not giving like a quick quip on Rosato. I did not have a joke prepared. That's my panel. Thanks for coming, everybody. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I mean, I'll continue to hang out until you kick me out of here.
I'll stop the stream for now, but there's no reason not to hang out in the Discord call for a bit longer.
Okay, well, bye, Twitch stream. The party's in the Discord anyway.
Yeah, Twitch will be back in, is it half an hour, I think, the next one? Something like that.
Cool.
Yeah, the next panel starts in half an hour, and it's with Azrin, who we just saw before this panel.
Oh, and right, it's the lyrics, right?
Yes, writing lyrics to different Fire Emblem songs.
Yes, I am extremely excited for that one. Yeah.
So, we'll see you all soon then.
Yeah, we'll see you all soon.